The field was quiet. Birds flew over tall yellow grass. A gentle breeze moved through the trees. A farmer stood near his old tractor. The machine was broken again. He wiped sweat from his face and looked up at the clear blue sky. Then the wind stopped. Everything went silent. No birds, no breeze. Even the grass stopped moving. The farmer frowned. Something was wrong. He had lived on this land his whole life. He knew when the air felt strange. He looked up again and saw it. A crack opened in the sky. Not a cloud. Not a storm. It was something unnatural. A giant shape came through, black and smooth like glass, blocking the sun. It was not an airplane. It was not from Earth. It was a ship, an alien ship. The massive craft floated above the fields without making a sound. Lights blinked underneath it. Strange symbols glowed on its sides. Smaller ships dropped from it and hovered like insects. The farmer didn't run. He didn't scream. He just stood there, watching, hands in his pockets. From the sky, a cold voice echoed in the air. This territory is now under control of the Galactic Union. Local species will remain still for inspection. Do not resist. The farmer raised an eyebrow. Huh, he said softly. A silver drone flew down and scanned him. A red beam passed. Over his body, his clothes, even his boots. The drone made a buzzing sound. Then it spoke in the same cold voice. Primitive life form, no threat detected. The farmer smiled, but not kindly. You boys really don't learn, do you? The drone blinked and flew away. Up in the main ship, alien officers stood around a glowing map of the area. One of them laughed. These creatures are barely sentient, no weapons, no tech, just dirt and noise. Another nodded. This will be easy. Let's use the planet for resource stripping. Their kind won't fight back. But far below, the farmer was already moving. He walked to his barn. It looked old, like everything else on his farm, wooden, cracked, full of dust. But inside, under a floorboard, was a steel hatch. He opened it and climbed down into the darkness. Under the barn was not just dirt. There was a hidden room, metal walls, lights that turned on by themselves, screens that lit up when he entered. And in the center, a strange device sat on a platform, a round console glowing softly. The farmer placed his hand on it. Welcome back, said a calm voice from the machine. Hidden systems online. The farmer stared at the screen. It showed the alien flagship hovering above his field. Red circles marked enemy ships. Ready to activate old defense tech? The voice asked. The farmer didn't answer. He reached for a switch and flipped it. Miles away, deep underground, something stirred. Earth hadn't always been peaceful. Long ago, something terrible came from the stars. But Earth fought back, and when the war ended, the survivors hid the tech. They buried it, locked it away, told no one. But the farmer had been there, and now he was waking it up again. Back in the sky, the alien commander received a report. Commander, said an officer, we've lost contact with Drone 9. It was inspecting the surface life form.
What? One drone can't go missing on this rock. We think something pulled it underground. The commander frowned. Send 5 more. 5 new drones flew down, but none returned. The commander stood still.
He looked at the screen. Zoom in on that life form. They showed the farmer again. He was now sitting on a wooden chair outside the barn, drinking from a metal cup. Primitive, no weapons, still no threat, the system said. But the commander felt something was wrong, deeply wrong. He stared at the image of the calm man sitting in front of his old barn, and the farmer looked up, straight into the sky, as if he could see them, as if he was waiting. The farmer stood up slowly. The wind returned, but the air felt heavier now, like something terrible was about to happen. Up in orbit, the alien commander was shouting, "Send a ground squad now. Take that creature in for study." 10 soldiers, tall and armored in black suits, dropped from the sky in flashes of blue light. They hit the ground around the barn, weapons ready, but the farmer was gone. One soldier stepped toward the barn door. It creaked open. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. They moved in. Suddenly the ground rumbled beneath them. A pulse of energy shot up through the floor. Their scanners went dark. Then came the voice. "You are standing on holy ground. Leave, or be buried in it." The aliens looked around in confusion. "Where is that coming from?" one asked. Before they could react, a metal trapdoor flew open beneath two of them. Screaming, they vanished into darkness. "What is this place?" another shouted. From the shadows, a figure stepped out. Not the farmer exactly. Not anymore. He wore a suit made of ancient earth tech, black with glowing red lines humming with silent power. His face was hidden behind a silver visor. On his shoulder sat a small machine, an old war drone, blinking and alive. The farmer raised one hand. Bar. Soldiers opened fire, but nothing hit him. A red energy shield snapped into place. The bullets melted. Then, in one move, the farmer spun forward and dropped all 5 nearest enemies with blasts from a strange old weapon. It didn't fire lasers. It fired something else, something the aliens had never seen before. It made their suits lock up. Their bodies froze. One soldier tried to run. He made it 5 steps before a hidden turret rose from the ground and blasted him into the air. Up in the flagship, alarms screamed. "We are under attack. From the surface." From one man, the commander stared at the screen. "This can't be real. They are supposed to be primitive." A technician looked pale. "Sir, that tech he used? It's not in our records. It predates our systems. It's not just alien tech. It's ancient alien tech. And Earth shouldn't have it." The commander froze. "What are you saying?" "Sir, I think we invaded a death world." The commander's face turned gray. "And we just made an enemy of someone who's been through this before." Back underground, the farmer stood in front of the war console. Screens lit up all around him. They showed images from orbit, enemy ships, movement paths, weak points. He placed one hand on the screen. "Begin phase 1, he said. Old systems woke up. Missiles hidden under hills began to arm. Satellites long thought dead blinked back online. Earth's last forgotten defense net was waking up. The farmer spoke softly to the machine beside him. "It's happening again, isn't it?" The machine's voice replied. "Yes, just like before." "How many this time?" 3 capital ships, 1,000 support crafts, ground troops incoming, all calling Earth primitive, yo." Farmer smiled beneath the helmet. "Then let's teach them some respect." He walked out of the barn, glowing suit humming with quiet energy. The fields were no longer calm. Strange shapes moved under the soil, lights pulsed under the grass. The farmer looked up. The alien flagship hovered above, giant, unstoppable, full of pride. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a small silver cube, pressed it once. A light shot into the sky like a beam of fire. Seconds later, one of the smaller alien ships exploded in midair. "Warning shot," he muttered. From orbit, panic broke out. "They just took out a cruiser with ground-based tech." "We don't even know what kind of weapon it was," the commander screamed. "Retreat from the surface now. This is not a simple farm. This is a trap." But it was already too late. This was not the first time Earth had been called primitive. And every time someone did, Earth answered the same way, with fire. Above the burning fields, the alien flagship began to move. No more warnings, no more scans. It turned and aimed every weapon it had at one man. From the command deck, the alien leader gave the order. "Target the location. Full power. I want." That creature erased from existence. The ship charged its main cannon. A red glow lit up the sky. Trees bent from the energy buildup. The wind screamed. On the ground, the farmer stood still, the glow reflected in his helmet. Then the sky exploded. A beam of light wider than a house slammed into the earth. Fire, dust, and smoke rose into the clouds. A crater formed where the barn used to be. Shockwaves cracked the land in every direction. The flagship's crew cheered. Target eliminated, the system reported. The alien commander smiled. But then, the smoke shifted, the dust cleared, and something moved inside the crater. Slowly, calmly, a figure walked out. His armor burned, cracked, but still glowing. One shoulder bled light like it was alive. He carried a strange weapon in one hand, still humming. The farmer was still alive. "Impossible," shouted the alien officer. "Sir, his suit. It's absorbing damage. It's learning." The commander's smile vanished. The farmer stopped and looked up. His helmet's visor reflected the light of the ship. He raised his left arm. A small metal panel opened on his wrist. He pressed it. Far above, something new appeared. Not a ship, not a missile, a satellite. Ancient, hidden for centuries. Long dead, until now. It powered up, charged, and fired. A single bolt of blue light hit one of the flagship's side wings. It didn't just explode. The metal bent inward first, then shattered. Half the ship caught fire inside. Chaos broke out. "Direct hit, what was that?" "Old Earth satellite. Auto-targeted command ships. It shouldn't be online." The commander screamed. "Shut it down. Jam its signal." But they couldn't. The satellite didn't need their systems. It ran on something older, something they had never seen. Down below, the farmer was already moving again. His boots left glowing footprints in the dirt. He passed his destroyed barn, stepped over the crater, and headed for the hill behind his house. Under the hill was the last part of the old war system, the part he hoped he'd never need again. He opened a hidden door in the rock and walked into the dark. Inside, the core, not a weapon, a brain, a living AI, once shut down after Earth's last great war. Now it blinked awake. A voice echoed in the chamber. "Welcome, Commander. Earth protocols active. War detected." The farmer didn't flinch. "I need the sky defense grid. Online, warning. It may cause global storms. Let it rain." Back. In orbit, the flagship was limping. Fires burned inside its main corridors. Systems failed one by one. "Sir, ground forces are reporting." "Nothing. No trace of the man. No way to track him. He's a ghost." "He's not a ghost," the commander said. "He's something worse. He's history." Suddenly the ship rocked again. Alarms screamed. "What now?" "Sir, look outside." The sky above Earth was no longer dark. Lines of blue light crisscrossed the clouds. Beams of power arced from the horizon. Ancient defense stations hidden under oceans, in ice, in deserts were waking up. The sky defense grid, all of it was targeting one ship, theirs. The alien commander gave one final command. "Get us out of here. Jump now." But they were too slow. From the surface, the farmer stood on his hill. Rain poured down. Lightning flashed behind him. He watched as the ship tried to rise. He pressed one final button. Above, 20 blue lances of energy slammed into the flagship from all directions. The sky lit up white. The ship cracked like glass, then exploded. Silence returned to the fields. Smoke drifted down like ash. The farmer sat on the wet grass, helmet off now, rain falling on his face. In the distance, a single chicken walked through the mud, clucking like nothing happened. The farmer looked up at the sky. More ships were coming, and he was ready. The sky was broken. The alien flagship was gone, shattered into 1,000 flaming pieces. Fire rained down like falling stars. Glowing metal crashed into forests and fields. But it wasn't over, not even close. From the clouds above, more ships appeared. 10, then 50, then over 100 alien reinforcements. These weren't scouts or explorers. These were warships, built to crush entire worlds. Their shields glowed red. Their weapons charged like storms, ready to fall. They had just lost a flagship to one man. Now they wanted revenge. On the ground, the farmer stood in silence. He looked around at his broken land. His barn was ash. His fields burned. Craters dotted the soil. He took a breath. Deep. calm. Then he spoke into his wristband. Activate full defense protocol. Code, iron soil. Far beneath the ground, something ancient responded. The earth cracked, not from bombs, not from ships, but from machines waking up. The farm had never been a farm. It was a disguised fortress, a last resort outpost built long ago during Earth's forgotten war. And now, it began to rise. Steel doors pushed up through the dirt. Turrets unfolded like giant arms. Pillars of glowing energy climbed from the earth like towers waking from a dream. The ground opened, revealing silos, cannons, armor. The soil itself was ready to fight. In orbit, alien commanders screamed across their communication channels. We're detecting energy spikes from the surface, hundreds of them. Target the land, burn it until nothing moves. But the defense grid was faster. Blue beams fired from hidden launchers. Earth's sky was no longer the aliens to command. One by one, their warships began to fall. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions lit the upper atmosphere. Alien ships spun out of control. Some crashed into the ocean. Others vanished in fire mid-air. But the swarm was large, too large. Some ships broke through the defense line. They dropped pods. Thousands. Alien soldiers poured into the fields, marching like black shadows. They moved in perfect rows, each carrying advanced weapons, armor, and scanners. But something was off. Their scanners showed wrong data. The ground was shifting. Their systems kept glitching. One squad leader looked around. Something's jamming our tech. Then they heard it. Not machines. Not weapons. Footsteps. From the rising smoke, a dozen human shapes walked out. But they weren't regular soldiers. They wore suits made of Earth's old war tech, repaired and reforged. Rusted but powerful. Their eyes glowed blue. They carried heavy rifles and pulse blades. At the front was the farmer. He raised his weapon. This land doesn't belong to you, and I'm not alone anymore. Then they charged. What followed wasn't a battle, it was a storm. Alien troops fired first. Lasers filled the air. But Earth soldiers moved through the fire like they were born in it. The farmer's blade cut through armor like paper. His team moved in sync, fast, brutal, quiet. Each time they were hit, their armor adapted, it learned, and struck back harder. The ground itself helped them. Walls rose from the soil to block shots, mines activated under enemy legs. The sky darkened, not from smoke, but from something else. A sound grew above, like thunder with a heartbeat. Everyone looked up. It was a ship, a big one, but not alien. This one was Earth-made. Its hull was jagged, painted in symbols from Earth's past, rusted from time, repaired by hand, but alive and angry. Unregistered Earth battleship descending, a voice said in the alien command ship. It was buried, under the planet's crust. That's not a ship, whispered an alien tech. That's a war beast. The human warship fired without warning. Massive red beams struck the enemy ground forces. Whole squads vanished in light. Craters swallowed their tanks. The war had truly begun, and Earth was no longer quiet. The farmer stood on top of a destroyed alien tank. He wiped the blood from his face and looked at the rising sky fire. You came to take this world, but this world remembers. He raised his fist. From the forests, deserts, and oceans, other hidden outposts began to wake up, and across the galaxy one message spread like wildfire. They called Earth primitive. Now Earth calls them prey. The sky was fire. The soil cracked and rumbled. Alien dropships burned across the horizon. And in the middle of it all, one man stood beside a rusted machine, a tractor, old, red, covered in dirt. The kind used for hauling hay, not for war, but this was no normal farm machine anymore. The farmer ran his hand across its side. Wires poked out from the engine. Strange metal plates had been welded on. A glowing crystal pulsed where the steering wheel used to be. He whispered to it. "It's time." The machine answered, not with words, but a low hum, deep and alive. The ground shook slightly. Lights blinked under the wheels. This tractor had been rebuilt using something the aliens never expected. Forgotten human tech mixed with alien scraps taken from the battlefield. A mix of Earth's rage and stolen knowledge. Inside the command ship orbiting above, the alien officers stared at their screens. "Commander, there's movement on the surface." "What kind of movement?" "A ground vehicle, civilian class, farming type." "Ignore it." But the ship's AI buzzed sharply. "Warning, that vehicle is emitting power levels equal to a battlecruiser." The officer leaned closer, and then the screen showed it. The tractor lifted off the ground. Back on Earth, the farmer climbed into the driver's seat. He gripped the new controls, half made of metal, half glowing like a star engine. The machine roared, wheels folded inward, engines turned downward, fire shot out, and then, with a sudden surge of power, the tractor flew, not like a slow liftoff, not like a clumsy hover. It blasted into the sky with speed that made birds scatter and air ripple in waves. Inside the cockpit, the farmer grinned. "Let's show them what primitive really means." He broke through the clouds in seconds. Ahead of him, dozens of alien ships circled like vultures, hunting for survivors. They didn't expect a tractor. He charged straight at them. The first alien ship locked on. "Target acquired. One ground-class vehicle approaching." "Just shoot it." They fired. The tractor spun mid-air, dodging the blast like a dancer. A cannon popped from its side and fired a beam straight through the eye. Alien ship's core explosion. The wreck fell in flames. "Sir," an alien cried, "that thing just downed a gunship." "A what?" "It's not a farming tool anymore." More alien fighters joined the chase, but the farmer knew the sky better than them. His tractor was rigged with old Earth, tech designed for space combat, hidden away since the last war. He soared through the enemy line, leaving fire behind. Each shot was precise, calculated, angry. He wasn't just flying, he was hunting. Back on the ground, the human resistance saw the fire above and cheered. "Is that a tractor?" "No, that's him." The legend was spreading. The man with the farm, the one who woke the Earth, the one who made a tractor fly and used it to tear apart a fleet. In orbit, the alien commander stared in horror. "He's coming this way." "Sir, the primitive has breached our skywall." "How? How is he doing this?" But no one had an answer, because they had never fought someone like him, someone who didn't follow the rules, someone who made war machines out of scrap and memory, someone who turned a farm tool into a sky demon. The tractor burst through the first defense line of the main alien mothership. He flipped a switch. 4 small drones launched from the back, each carrying a burning payload. They weaved through defenses and smashed into power nodes across the ship's hull. Explosions danced like fireworks. The ship tilted. The farmer aimed his tractor's nose, down and dove straight at the enemy bridge. Inside, the alien officers panicked. "We have to jump, get out now." But they were too late. The farmer didn't fire. He landed, right on top of their bridge. The metal bent beneath him. His suit opened. He stepped out, just one man, covered in dirt, carrying a plasma rifle and a steel pipe. He looked through the glass at the stunned crew and smiled. "Still think I'm primitive?" He raised the pipe and smashed it through the control window. Across the galaxy, a new name echoed through the void. "Beware the farmer who flies. He comes with fire, and he brings the storm." The ship was shaking. Alarms echoed in every corridor. Emergency lights flashed red. Alien soldiers ran in panic, shouting in a dozen languages. A message repeated over the speakers. "Warning, intruder on board. Primary bridge compromised. Repeat, 1 human on board." Just one. And yet, he was breaking their ship apart from the inside. The farmer walked through the smoking hallway. The lights flickered above him. Walls sparked with broken circuits. His boots were heavy, his pace slow but unstoppable, like a storm walking. He held a plasma rifle in one hand, a steel pipe in the other. Behind him, 3 elite alien guards lay unconscious. Ahead of him, the core room, the heart of the flagship, where the command center, engine control and defense systems were located. He'd fought his way through over 100 alien soldiers to get here, and now, it was time to finish it. In the core room, the alien commander was waiting, wounded, one arm burned, his armor cracked. Faced the monitor showing the farmer getting closer with every step. "How?" he whispered. "How is he doing this alone?" His second-in-command answered with shaking hands. "He's not just a soldier. He's something else. He remembers." "Remembers what?" "The old war. The war we thought Earth lost." The farmer stepped through the final door. The room was vast. Giant towers of glowing machinery surrounded the chamber. The engine core pulsed in the center, bright and alive, dozens of weapons locked onto him. The commander pointed his blade. "You will die here." The farmer didn't blink. "I already died once," he said, "when your kind landed on my soil." The room lit up as alien guards opened fire. The farmer rolled to cover, fired back with precise shots. 2 fell instantly. He leapt behind a control panel, activated a drone from his belt. It flew in a fast arc and exploded midair, blinding the guards. He sprinted through the smoke, sliding under blasts, striking one guard with the steel pipe, breaking armor with each swing one by one. They fell, until only the commander remained. The 2 faced each other. The alien raised his energy blade. The farmer raised the steel pipe again. The commander laughed bitterly. "All this technology, and you bring a pipe?" The farmer stepped forward. "It's not the weapon that matters, it's the hand holding it." They charged. Blade met steel. Sparks flew. They fought across the core platform, on narrow walkways with nothing but fire and light beneath them. Each strike from the alien was clean and trained. Each hit from the farmer was raw, full of memory, pain, and fury. Steel met bone. Blade sliced air. Until finally, the farmer ducked, rolled and slammed the pipe into the control tower behind the commander. Electricity surged through the system. The ship shuddered, the lights dimmed. Power dropped to 30%. The commander gasped, falling to one knee. "You're destroying everything." The farmer stood over him. "You already did that. I'm just finishing the job." He turned to the control console, pulled out the same silver cube he used on Earth, placed it into the core slot. The console screamed in error, then accepted it. New command recognized. Earth override confirmed. The ship's engines began to melt down. Outside, in orbit, the massive alien flagship started to sink in space, losing power, falling toward Earth's upper atmosphere. The remaining alien ships backed away, confused, scared. "Sir, the flagship, it's going down." "By who?" "By him. Just him." Inside the ship, the farmer walked toward the escape pod. Flames burst from walls as he entered the capsule. He looked out the window one last time at the ship's burning halls. "You called us primitive. You forgot. We built the fire. You fear." He launched. The pod shot out as the flagship's core exploded. A silent white light filled the sky. Then, darkness. Down on Earth, people looked up. They saw a new sun being born, then fading. They didn't know what caused it, but they knew who: a man, a farmer, a ghost from the past. Across the stars, one terrifying message repeated on alien channels. "Do not send ships to Earth. Do not land near fields. Do not challenge the ones who plant and wait, because when they rise, they bring death." The stars were silent. The flagship was gone, and somewhere, far below, a single pod floated down to Earth, smoking, spinning, slow. It hit the dirt outside a broken fence. A tractor's remains lay nearby, half buried, melted from battle. The hatch opened, and the farmer stepped out. His suit was torn, His helmet cracked. But he was alive. He looked across his land. The barn was gone. The crops were ash. But the soil was still warm. Still his. He dropped to one knee and touched the ground. Still here, he whispered. Still ours. The world didn't understand what had just happened. Cities had seen lights in the sky. Some said it was a comet. Others said it was war. But deep down, everyone felt something had changed, like a page had turned, like Earth had spoken. In the Galactic Council, 1,000 light-years away, panic ruled. Holograms of the destroyed Flagship spun in silence. Recordings of one human bringing down a god-tier warship played again and again. The council chambers were full of shouting. That planet was classified as low-tech. How did they do this? That farmer, he wasn't in any system. An elder race spoke calmly. You fools judge them by their buildings, not their memory. Another race spoke, shivering. Do we attack again? Silence. The oldest alien in the room, pale and scarred, stood slowly. He had once seen war with Earth, a long time ago. No, he said, you don't attack Earth. Why not? Because Earth doesn't start wars. He turned to face them. They end them. Back on Earth, weeks passed. The land began to heal. Rain returned. Green slowly spread again, and from far away, ships came. But they weren't alien warships. They were Earth ships. Old ones, new ones. Hidden fleets that had gone silent after the last Great War. Now, they returned. Guided by the signal the farmer sent before destroying the Flagship. Out from bunkers came soldiers who had been sleeping in cryo. Out from deep oceans came old sea forts converted into skyships, and all of them landed in the field, to find him, the man who started it. He walked out to meet them, hands in his pockets. They came, he said. Because of you, replied the lead soldier. No, the farmer said. Because of us. Years later, aliens would tell stories, not about kings, not about generals, but about a human who used a tractor to burn a fleet. About a man with a pipe who boarded a flagship. About Earth, the planet they thought was dirt and grass and silence. Now, they called it something else, the graveyard of arrogance, because those who insulted it never returned. And in the center of a now peaceful farm, a small sign stood where the battle began. It read, "You called us primitive. Look around.